Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to have a look at the top 5 tanks that you focus in the game. Now, this is only from my point of view. You may focus completely different tanks, but there's always that one tank that you look at in battle and think, I want to take you out. It could either be that the tank is very easy to take out, it could be that the tank is very OP, or it could just be that it's nice and juicy. There's many ways that are many reasons why there could be tanks that you just want to take out, and a few of them I'm going to be talking about in today's video. So the first one, of course, is the mighty Death Star. Now, I am actually doing another video, an updated video on the FV215B183, but without a doubt this is probably one of the most focused tanks in the game, and I need no explanation for that. You all know the reason, and that is the reason right there, because of that Hesh. The Hesh is absolutely amazing, and that is the only thing good about the tank, is the Hesh, the damage, the alpha, the you know, it can change games, and it's one of the only tanks in the game, other than things like a KV2, the Smasher. It's one of the only tier 10s, should I say, that can change the outcome of a battle with just one single shot. One single shot, whether that will be an ammo rack, whether that will be a HE shot that does a max roll. It's one of those tanks that doesn't perform very well. It doesn't perform very well, but when you do shots like that, a full hit point TD that can cause mega damage is now a one shot. It was full hit points and look, gone. He's gone. So yeah, the Death Star is probably the most focused tank in the game, and when you can get a shot like this, I mean, that's 3 shots. That's pretty much 3 shots, 5k damage. So that is why the Death Star is the most focused tank in the game, and I always recommend, if you can shoot a Death Star, shoot it, because getting rid of a Death Star could actually win you the game. It depends on who's the Death Star. Well, it don't even matter who's in the Death Star. It could be a noob that doesn't even know how to play it. If that noob is able to get one shot off, then that could change the outcome of the game. So yeah, the Death Star, definitely one of the most focused tanks in the entire game. Next up, we're going to look at the Tortoise, because the Tortoise, for me, it's got a lovely gun. It has such a nice gun, but that is all it's got, and I say it every video I do on the Tortoise. It needs more. It needs something, because the armor profile on this tank is just non-existent, and it's supposed to be a heavily armored tank with a nice gun. It's not supposed to have the speed, but it's not also supposed to be butter. I mean, tanks that just go through this tank, the armor like butter. It has a big hatch on top that's AHEable. It has the side cheeks. It has the bottom plate. It's literally got no armor, and I've always said it with the whole line, the AT line, and well, we've just had a look at the Death Star, which is completely different to the rest of the tanks, and I do agree, they won't do it now, but they should have actually put the Badger into the tier 10 rather than the Death Star. But you know, it is what it is now. They'll never change it, because the Badger is now for sale, or it is as a premium tank, so they're never going to remove a premium tank and make it available, because in the tech tree, because people have paid real money for that tank. So yeah, I just feel disappointed with the tank, and as I've said, it's got nice gun depression. If you can get the gun depression, then you can get the odd bounce, but that is it. It's got a beautiful gun, absolutely beautiful gun, and that's nice DPM. It has the nice DPM, but that is literally it. It's slow, no armor, and whatever aims at you is shooting at you. You can't use the gun depression, because you use the gun depression, they can still see your hatch. So that is why I always love going for a Tortoise, because usually it's very easy to deal with, and especially when tanks think they can go hold down in the thing, they can't see you because they are hold down, but yet you are just farming their hatch. And that's why I love going for Tortoises. They're juicy. If you get behind them, they're very juicy. and they are quite easy to deal with because they're really slow as well. So we've seen the Tortoise. Now we're going to talk about the IS-7. excuse me, because the IS-7, I've literally just made a video on the IS-7 saying how good the tank is now, but still people focus the IS-7, and they focus the IS-7, I believe, for one reason alone, and that is the ammo rack. Yes, the ammo rack. It is still one of the easiest tanks in the game. We're just going to speed this up because it's actually a pretty decent game. So it is one of the easiest tanks in the game to ammo rack. You have a few that hold that spot. The Tiger 1, if you get to the side of it, it's quite easy to ammo rack as well. The T44, I think, is quite easy, and things like the T62 Object 140s, the T54s are quite easy to ammo rack as well. But none of them are as easy to ammo rack than the IS-7 if you have a big gun. Not just a big gun. I mean, I ammo racked it with a mouth the other day. But yeah, the amount, I don't think anyone has seen more ammo racks in any other tank than they have the IS-7, and that is why people go for them. People go for the pike nose. People go for the pike nose even when they know they can't penetrate it, but there's always just that little bit of hope that it will ammo rack the tank. So the IS-7, again, if you're in something like a Death Star, a Grill, a Jaegeru, or an E3, E4, anything big, E100, even things like Waffles, maybe not so much Sheridans, but yeah, if you're in any one of those tanks, then if there's sort of 3 heavies sitting in a row, you're always going to focus the IS-7, and you're always going to try and shoot that pike nose. Or if it comes out sideways, you can also hit right in the middle of the armor profile, and that will ammo rack the tank as well. So it still performs very, very good, even though it is a well sought after tank. I mean, people want a bit of the ammo rack action, but it's still a decent tank, and we're going to see it here. I mean, 2000, it can still block damages, but this kind of angle is an ammo rack waiting to happen, but it still has that Russian armor, you know, that very, very troll armor, and you could just see that shot from the side there from the Jaegeru. Manages to get the bounce. It is one of those tanks, it's always going to be sought after. It's always going to be like, don't buy an IS-7 because you're going to get ammo racked. Now, I don't think it's the case anymore. I think that the tank now is such an amazing tank, but yeah, I do think that they need to make it a little bit difficult to ammo rack, but maybe that is what is so weak about the tank. You know, it doesn't have that many too many flaws. But the ammo rack is one of them, and I think they will keep it because it has sort of become a meme with how easy it is to ammo rack. And you always, when you're driving the IS-7, you always have that in the back of your mind as well. You always think, oh shit, there's a Death Star looking at me. Look directly at the Death Star. Don't give him my pike nose. And the same with this kind of situation with the Jaegeru. So we are just going to watch this game see out because it's kind of a nail biter here. 3,800 damage, and he's block damage, sorry, and he's on 5.8k damage. So if now he was just to reverse out without shooting, without showing his pike nose, then he could actually get a bounce, and that is exactly what he does. So now he has the upper hand. This guy is on a big reload, but he's in the middle of the open, and he's just gonna sit there, and it's game over. So yeah, a very, very decent game there from our guy, and yeah, definitely one of those tanks that you will focus in the game. Next up, again, needs no introduction. The Smasher. You could also add the Annihilator in here if you really wanted. But yeah, the only reason the Smasher is focused so much is because of how broken the tank actually is. Now, the tank is, I've said it, and it has been ever since it was released, the most broken tank in the game. Again, just like the Death Star, it can change outcomes. Now, we're going to see that right here with our very first shot. We managed to get a troll bounce. We're going to snap it, and we're going to do 932 HE into that SU-152, who then just gets taken out. He gets absolutely deleted, and that was it is quite nice. I mean, the thing with the Smasher, it is fun to play, and I'm ashamed to say it, it is one of my go-to tanks just to have a little bit of fun. If you're in a platoon, 2 Smashers in a platoon is really fun, and I'm not denying that. But yeah, it's whenever I come up against a Smasher, I'm always looking at where he is, because he can do a big amount of damage. It's a very, very dangerous tank, and that is why people focus the Smasher, just because of literally how broken the tank is. I think if Wargaming just nerfed a couple of things, they can keep the alpha, they can keep the penetration. If they nerf like the accuracy, I mean, on the move here, we're just going to shoot, no problem, and we do get the pen into his turret. Yes, we do get penetrated from the Annihilator. We don't bounce too much. I mean, we still bounced that shot from the SU-152. But yeah, coming up against tier 8 in this thing, you can still get the bounces. I mean, you can get the penetration, sorry, because you switch to the heat and you have an amazing heat pen that can get through just about anything. Now, I didn't really want to go for this Object 252 here, because I mean, they are still troll. Even shooting heat, they are still troll. But we're going to go up, and we're just going to shoot the turret. We don't even need to aim in the tank, and we do take him out. So yeah, the Smasher is definitely one of those tanks that you focus, or if you don't focus, you should focus in the game. So that is the Smasher. We've seen the Death Star, and the final one, of course, is the Balzic. Now, you can also add the Waffle, or you can add the Grill, or you can add any of the tanks in this this line. Again, we're going to just speed. It's quite a long replay. It goes the full 7 minutes here. But yeah, the Balzic for me is the easiest tank out of the lot of them to take care of. It's easier than the Grill, because it's, I mean, I don't know why, and it's easier than the Waffle, and it is definitely one of those tanks. If I see on the enemy team, you're just going to switch to the HE and you want to take him out. And I suppose like the Emil is another one. The Nashorn again is another one. If you play those a bit lower, go down a few tiers. But for me, it's the Waffle, the Balzic. I don't really like the Balzic. I don't think it's got a fantastic gun. The heat pen, I think, is okay. But yeah, it's a very hard tank to deal with. It's quite low to the ground, doesn't have the gun depression, and it really does struggle to perform in game. And before Wargaming got I can't even remember the consumable, the Spore Liner, sorry, that's the one, the Spore Liner. Before Wargaming got the Spore Liner into the game, it was a lot easier to deal with and so juicy. But now that you have the opportunity to put the Spore Liner on, then people will do less sort of HE damage into you. But it is still one of those tanks that you just love to come up against. And don't take the vaccine. Wow, okay. Yeah, it's one of those tanks that you love to come up against. It's most of the time, it's not a great player playing it. People can perform. I mean, this battle here, this guy performs really, really well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I was going to add a few other tanks that you love to come up against here. You have the SP1C that people love to come up against. But I didn't want to add too many. Like, I could actually add 5 tanks with no armor, but I wanted to sort of mix it about a bit. And if I had the choice to come up against SP1C and an RH and Balzic, I'd rather come up against a Balzic, to be honest, because it is a bit more dangerous and it's got that big gun. But it is also quite slow as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, what tanks do you love? What tanks do you look at the lineup and think, yes, like that tank is on the enemy team, and I really want to go for that tank. I am going to focus that tank as much as I possibly can. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. A nice little win there for our guy in the Balzic. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all very soon. Bye-bye.
With